Now we're going to talk about the weather situation in Cumbria. 2,500 people still without electricity in these conditions. This is all after this latest icy spell.
Yeah, Fire and Rescue in the lake said it's worked through the night to rescue drivers from cars trapped in deep snow. It's grim to be stuck in a car.
Horrid. Well, the Met Office has issued a fourth yellow weather warning for heavy rain that's going to last until 6 o'clock this evening.
Yeah, that rain likely to cause some disruption to travel and could result in flooding, just in case you haven't had enough of that lately.
Yes. Well, let's get some detail in all of this from senior meteorologist Jim Dale. Good morning, Jim. Good to see you.
And you.
So quite extreme conditions we're seeing up in Cumbria at the moment.
Yeah, it's hardly a good morning up there, is it? Let's face it. In fact, that rain, I can imagine this now, and people are going to be going out in this snow on the ground, ice on the ground, driving rain. I mean, it's an awful mix, isn't it? It's a dangerous mix, to be honest with you.
Bit of an ice rink out there.
Yeah, and people in the south, how can I put this? Comfortable southerners, just a little bit of a rain out there, not a great deal. I know there's a bit more down in the southwest at this moment in time, but nonetheless, you're wondering what's going on. But actually, it is a north-south split. The air masses are very different from the north of the country to the south at this moment in time. So it's turning a little bit milder and more hospitable in the south, but the north have got problems. The papers like to make a big deal of weather stories. They always do, especially the Star. Yeah. So we got Skate Britain on this one. The Star always do a good weather story, perhaps exaggerated slightly, but I do like the Mirror's one. The first snow hell.
Oh, very clever.
Yeah, rather than just a snow hell. So that's what they've put out this morning. Look, weather sells papers, does it not?
Well, no surprise.
Yeah, and whether we're in heat extremes or this type of extreme, the first thing to say, I mean, one of the things that says in here, drivers trapped in cars for up to 19 hours. We had that last year as well, if you recall.
Did we?
Yep, on the M62 and on the M25, in the south, where we got sudden dislocation of the polar vortex. I'm talking a bit technical now.
No, we love it.
We love it.
Yeah, OK.
Dislocation of the polar vortex.
Yeah, which means you get... Yeah, we didn't get that this time around. Okay. This was a simple airflow from a very, very cold Norway that's been freezing cold for a month and snow-laden, and the air came down from there, and presto, then we got a system coming in from the west, as it does. The two mixed together, and the north mainly got it, and it was the hilly areas of the north. So, in a way, it kind of was expected. I was on this programme talking about what was coming, and I have a slight problem with people getting caught out, because it means, are they taking heed of the warnings that are out there? There was a yellow, and that was out well in advance. This is the Met Office, and then there's an amber about 2 o'clock, which is a bit late. It was already in it then in Cumbria. But nonetheless, people drive into these rural areas, the mountainous or country areas, and then get trapped. It's a bit like, OK, use a bit of common sense here.
Well, you've got to take responsibility for yourself for as much as you can. Look, talking of climate, but sort of the other side of things, if you like, what do you make of the president of COP28, admittedly from an oil-rich nation, saying the science does not suggest that you need to phase out fossil fuels?
He's showing his true colours, I guess.
But is it right to have that debate? Should we be having that debate? Has the science proved that we need to...
Stephen, that's a really good question. On this station, we do have this debate. We've just been talking politics 5 minutes ago, and we know that Reform UK are climate deniers. So everybody should know that if you're going to go in that direction, that's what they are, that's their label. But in one way, I've been doing this for long enough, and scientists on my side of the equation, the vast majority, would say the debate is over, it's happening now. The repercussions of climate change in terms of the severity of weather, the catastrophes that are going on, not every single one, but the majority of them, and the extreme temperatures in the sea and in the land. So, look, there'll always be a contingent of people who will argue against black is white and all the rest of it. That kind of happens naturally in any environment, never mind the weather and the climate. I'll tell you what should happen. They should get the Sultan. They should sit him in a dark room with these top scientists. I'll go in there if you want, you know, and shine a light and really give him the facts. He's protecting his own investment, and that's what's happening.
But is that what should happen at COP? I mean, fair enough if that's what he wants to do, you know, but when you're at a climate conference, should he be protecting his own business? And I suppose that will be what a lot of people will now say, you know what, what's the point of COP? And we had this debate last week.
Yeah.
Where, you know, we had people who are in favour of trying to reduce the amount of consumption of oil, but saying COP's a waste of time.
It was nearly always going to happen, wasn't it? That, you know, you hold a COP28 in an oil state and you're thinking, you know, that's a bit silly, isn't it? That's a bit... It's Dracula looking after the blood bank type thing. That's essentially where we are with this. So I think it was inevitable that something was going to come out of this nature. And hey presto, it's the president.
It just seems a bit extreme. But look, you've got to... There's an argument as well to say, hold it in an oil-rich nation, because actually, if we go down this path, a lot of these countries are actually going to lose vast amounts of their income, and that's got to be worked into the equation.
Yeah, and you know what? It is inevitable. So they're scratching and fighting as best as they can, even if they do it in a quiet way. Some don't, some do, and this has now come out. So I think that's the label that is attached to this guy and that oil state, and that's where we are. We're in this evolutionary or revolutionary state, if you like, and we're having this discussion, this debate, and it's ongoing. But I think we need to get past it, and I think they are looking at their futures and looking down, you know, where they don't want to look. But they need to change. Some of the oil companies, some of the power companies, they're changing their face. They really are. They're going far more green and using the time and this time and place now to actually moving to new areas, and that's where we need to be. But I think in the UAE, particularly Saudi Arabia, you're right in the heart of oil country. You might as well be in Texas.
Well, yeah. I'll tell you what, it was a shame we haven't got Richard Tice on this morning from the leader of Reform UK, because I'd like to say to him, are you climate deniers? I bet they would say no. I mean, I've never had that discussion with them.
Man-made climate deniers. There's a difference, OK? There's a big difference. Climate deniers basically mean oh, well, they'll turn around and say the climate's changed all the time, you know, and it has. But it's particularly the last 20 years and particularly the last decade that you've seen temperatures and CO2 like the face of the Eiger, you know, on the graphs and what have you, from eminent scientists. So you're right. I mean, to be honest with you, I feel Richard Tice is running away from me sometimes. I really want...
Try and make that happen.
Make it happen.
I
got no problem with
it. Yeah. So we'll see if we can get that to happen on this programme.
In a dark room with some lights.
No. Because, you know, it's all about having sensible adult conversations.
No, absolutely.
And you know,
why not?
Yeah, debating things. Jim Dale, always fascinating to talk to you, senior meteorologist. Thank you very much.